BLANDARE is apparently what that place is, but we only go to places with fresh air. Thank you very much. Which means chiefly over here. Anything near this body of water, like, say, more drowners? Seems like a pretty large lake. I'm not seeing much special yet, other than whatever this stuff is. We'll definitely want to check that out. Oh, there's some fishermen. Hey, dudes.
Don't see me meddling in your matters.
Sorry. Also a little cabin over there. All around the lake, it seems. That's cool. Nice, peaceful little place to spend some time. Oh, are these the... Okay, these are the fishermen that were hanging out by the bandit camp. Okay, so that's where we were before. And then we should have headed in this direction here, but we got distracted. No worries, no worries. Anything else, even if we head over closer to the path? Doesn't seem like it. This very large tree? Totally seems like we could jump inside that. Which would probably get us trapped there for all eternity, so let's not. But, okay. This looks like the spot we're looking for, and this looks like an abandoned site that we can clear out by clearing out those drowners and co. Those just falling over trees or fences. Okay, just making sure we're not missing anything over here. These look like the guys we're looking to take out. They do look like the stronger of the drowner type foes. Okay, this is red, so like presumably there is something quest related there, though I can't examine it at the moment. So we might need to take out drowners first, I'm thinking. Let's save just in case it turns out that these guys are high level. I doubt it. I think they're probably right around what we are now. We got lots of... Well, we can examine this.
Out of there. Best blow it up.
Okay. Out of where? That's not a... It's not a nest. Nest is presumably over here. Yeah, it's technically the Mucknixers. Assuming you're all the same level?
Tell me what you got.
Please don't destroy our clan, though. That's not cool. That's not cool, dude. That's not cool. Oh, I was gonna say, unfortunate that I didn't think we could get you from the other side of the bridge, but apparently we can. But we just one-shot that guy. We headed him, nonetheless. Oh, now you want to go around. There we go. Okay. That guy looks like a drowned dead over there. A little bit darker in coloration. Yeah, so he's slightly higher level. Hello. Oh, no. Also level 15. Just technically a different type of enemy. Ever so slightly different. And that seems like that was everyone. So now they can re-inhabit. Well done, Geralt. And 120 experience and 50 crowns. That's not bad. Technically speaking, we might have wanted to loot this place first because, well, I suppose I don't think there are any guards here. I think they're just normal villagers. We should be fine still. Okay, so let's loot the bodies of the Mucknixers that we just took down. Then we'll loot the actual items from the chests here. And then after that, we'll see, I think there's at least one trader person here. Or unless you might be a traveling merchant, in which case we should talk to you now.
Greetings. Looking to buy?
Potentially. Oh, although we may have seen you already.
Show me your wares.
Oh yeah, these gave us or would give us the fast travel spots, but I don't really want those because I'd rather us just discover them ourselves, I think. And then, I mean, you are selling meteorite ingots, which is always tempting. Oh, we could also, at the very least, we should probably dump some of our junk items here. And by junk items, I mean ones that technically have higher base damage than the weapon that we are currently using. Remember when I was talking about how getting higher level items, even if they're lower rarity, might still be worthwhile? I mean, losing out on the crit damage, I think, is reason enough to hold on to the weapon that we are using right now, because we are pretty crit oriented with our build. So we probably do still sell this stuff. It's not worth any more from being a higher level. It doesn't seem still worth just about nothing, but let's dump them, because I'm concerned that we will start weighing ourselves down pretty soon if we don't offload some of this stuff. And in some ways, you could make the case that them not being worth much is almost a good thing, because that means we can sell even more of them without worrying too much about this guy running out of any coins. This one's also pretty junk. The blunt sword was specifically for a quest, right? For a second, I thought the blunt sword had 130 more damage than our current weapon. I was like, what? Excuse me? Oh, it's also pretty light. But it's one of those niche ones where, like, maybe we should throw this in our storage somewhere, because I feel like it's interesting enough that maybe there are circumstances in which we'd like to have this. I don't know. Oh, and we're kind of close. We're a couple levels away from being able to upgrade our crossbow a little bit. That'd be good too. All right. I think that's just about it with you, unless... Oh, we could also sell... What was that? We picked up some armor recently, and that might be worth enough that we'd want to make a point selling that to a specialist. Some of it I thought was pretty junk, though, like the Executioner's boots here. Let's dump these. Again, they have technically higher armor by a somewhat significant amount, at least for boots. I mean, you aren't getting a ton of armor from boots to begin with. Does have slightly better resistances for some stuff, but we lose out on the offense from the armor piercing. So it's better defensively, worse offensively. Also, our current boots are a little bit beat up. So, I mean, it's kind of close. I think I'd prefer the offense, though, because that's hard to get on boots. And also, I think for our current boots, special Witcher type of armor that we theoretically may be able to upgrade at some point in time. So we definitely don't want to sell them, I don't think, our boots that we've been wearing. But, these are just normal saddlebags? Wow. Thought we had some old saddlebags that we could sell. Yeah. Oh, we picked up blinders recently as well. Oh, they're actually better than our current blinders. I think these came from the race that we just completed a little while back. So let's sell this and sell this. But we definitely want to hold on to the blinders still. Oh, and you can't afford to take this off our hands, but it weighs 8 units, so I would very much like to sell it to you. I think that might be reason enough to buy one of these ingots here. That way we're picking up a valuable crafting item and still being able to offload an item that we'd very much like to sell. Does mean this guy still has a little bit more money remaining, but we could also dump some of the furs that we picked up recently, and that should get us pretty close, I think. That's not bad. Other junk as well. This furs here. And that just about does it. This, maybe, not quite. Not quite. We'll leave it at that.
So long.
So yeah, you're also just a boring merchant, the kind that we've technically already spoken to. But what I want to do now is make sure that we get the chance to loot the actual chests in here like this. And they may not be that good, well, it depends. Wire's not that special. This is an interesting little bridge incline that you guys have built.
And I want to build a long shop.
That's a little better. Okay.
For that, but you gotta start with the fundamentals.
Worth something.
So come here.
Yeah, there is a more permanent trader in this area. Right around here. You. I think we should just loot this stuff first,
Not a
just to
weak
be
thing, I
sure.
reckon, but right coin
So we
says
have all the stuff we might want to offload. In case we do get something. Did we get this stuff already? We might have. No, we didn't. Anything else? Anything under the bridge? I mean, this bridge is small enough that I don't think it...
Look!
Don't think it abides by the rule. We'll give it a pass on that one. See, the bridges actually, they need to reach at least half of 3/4 of human height in order to qualify for the bridge loot rule. So understandable why that one would not have any loot in it. It's technically exempt. So nothing to see there. Oh, did we actually get a fast travel location for this? The sawmill? Or is that just describing this location despite not having a fast travel location? I thought almost always when we saw the name coming across like that, that meant that there was a fast travel spot. Maybe not, but it also seems like might not be much left to do other than speak to you.
Glistening. Ancient runes in the blade.
Glistening. Nah.
Though you may not actually...
What
There we
brings
go.
it to me?
Didn't look like you actually wanted to trade with us for a second, even though you had the marker.
Wouldn't mind a look at your wares.
Oh, okay. So this is interesting. You certainly have some higher level stuff that we are not yet able to equip. Though some of it is equipable, yes. And I mean, some of it's normal rarity, yes, but some of it is magic, which is decent. Excuse me, decent. Still gonna lose the attack power, which is pretty unique for our existing armor, and we'd probably like to stick with light armor. So this would probably be more so the trade we'd be looking for. And gaining 15 armor, that is pretty significant. What level was this chest plate? It's 22, which is the perfect level for us. So I think at the very least, we want to start thinking about it. At the very least. We are definitely getting close to reaching the point where we could pick... Pick up upgraded gear. This is relic rarity. Hold on. We'd lose the armor piercing, yes, but what would we gain? Mostly just lots of resistances. Despite it being relic rarity, doesn't really have much that's super special about it, and much higher defenses. I mean, talking about 15 armor increase being a lot coming from a chest plate where you're getting most of your armor. 13 from a pair of boots? That is a ton. That is pretty hard to overlook. That is really tempting. At some point you need to say, yeah, I've been holding on to a lot of our existing gear because we have the rare case of being able to get a bunch of offensive things from our armor. But at some point you need to draw the line and say, yes, we do still want defense. But some of these relic rarity things are catching my attention for sure. And I'm assuming, yeah, they're pretty expensive. This guy has some good stuff. Hold on. Hold on. Parchment, that's nothing special. Raider glyphs. We've been, in many ways, waiting to find these, because we've seen so many of the lesser glyph crafting recipes. Alderfolk boots require level 36, wow. This also level 30 armor, and this one looks like it's relic rarity requires level 30. I mean, these all actually look quite good. Huh. Then you have more of the, in some cases, pretty rare crafting materials here. So yeah, you're no joke. You have some special stuff here, for sure. Huh. Question is, how much do we want to buy right now, and how much flawless emerald? 1,700. Yeah, question is mostly how much do we buy now versus how much are we thinking we might come back on a future occasion for. I feel like, especially if this place does not have a fast travel location, chances of us coming back and making a point of speaking to you, it's not guaranteed. So I think we go for it here and go pretty crazy buying this stuff. It's going to cost us a lot. And ideally, we'd be able to turn around and sell you a lot, make up for it a bit. Like maybe after, I mean, just look at how much that costs us to get the crafting diagrams there, several thousand. So as tempted as I am to pick up what are basically just higher level versions of, in some cases, the same armor that we're using, might be best for these ones if we just be a little bit more patient and see if we can get some of these to drop outright, because it does seem like we are getting better things to drop here in Skellige, and I'm just wary of us upgrading everything here, making ourselves broke, and then a level later we're like, oh, well, here's a better version of the thing we just found, or now we can buy a better version of that. So I feel like a little bit of patience on this occasion is probably worthwhile.
Farewell.
Just to see if we can make it so that we don't need to buy an upgrade for every last piece of gear that we are currently using, because that gets pricey. Okay, but certainly turns out that was a big deal for us to liberate that area there, getting all of our crafting materials that we just unlocked to show up. Yes, most of them we cannot make right now, or at least would not be able to equip right now. Let's double check. This is presumably the traveling merchant that we ran into previously. I'm thinking we do go to this spot next. Go to this notice board, this question mark, and we see what comes of it. I'm hoping that this gives us a lot more question marks on the eastern side of the island, because we don't have many there. We basically just have a ton up to the north, sort of west, given how that's where we've mostly gone thus far, and that's the two notice boards we've approached thus far. So yeah, let's head there. Basically following the merchant. See what, if anything, we can find around here as well. It might be special. I don't know. I mean, we do see there are still more buildings here, which are probably worth investigating. Is this the very place we were saying we wanted to go, or is this actually a different spot? I suppose we didn't really mark this specifically, but it is certainly worth checking out. Now is as good a time as any. These lootable or not. Actually, anything in the water doesn't look like it. Definitely go inside. There appears to be many things inside here. Strange. Looks like someone recently put that out. Calcium Equum is not bad at all. But I don't know if we should be reading into what appears to be signs that someone just recently left this place. I've read that before. Yeah, I was gonna say, I was expecting something terrible to be over here. Caged human skeleton. Not necessarily what I was expecting. Expecting more like active satanic ritual. Not torture that has already happened. It seems like, yeah, someone was recently here, and a skeleton suggests that that person was left a long time ago, given how it's just bone. Can we do something here? No? Maybe not? Also, this little door doesn't actually open, we just phase through it, apparently. So, we have become a ghost. That was actually the satanic ritual, it was all a curse. Yeah, it seems like we might be heading over here on a future occasion. Because this really doesn't look like a coincidence here. I mean, sure, it is probably affiliated with that gutted animal there. Yes. But it does also perhaps stink a little bit of some kind of murder. But with the, again, human skeletons here. We might find another quest that takes us back here on some future occasion. Okay, so the place we're looking to go is in this general area. Again, the question of, do you deliberately stick straight to the path, or do you deviate from it a bit in hopes of finding some things in between little areas? And what we've done here, I think you know the answer to that question. Getting some indications of, ooh, hop on those, that's not bad. Some kind of monsters, or monster, singular. Which suggests maybe it's kind of a big one. Can't tell from that sound. It appears to be quest related though, given how it is glowing red. So for that reason, I would like to avoid it in case it is something that is for one of those Witcher contracts that we've not yet negotiated the price for. But presumably on a future occasion, we will want to check that out. Just double check where exactly is that. It's like right at this crossroads here. There's this question mark. Looks like it is more or less pointing to this rock. Yes, it is. The place of power? No, it's a guarded treasure? The snow hare! It's the killer rabbit. Should have known. Yeah, actually though, like, what is it? It's gonna be a wraith. It's gonna appear, right? That's the wrong sword. Hello? It's a guarded treasure? Where's the thing that's guarding it? Oh! Oh. That's different. That's very different. Let's save before we go down into whatever the heck this place is. Oh, hello, Wraith. Yes, as anticipated. Also, level 23 is technically higher level than we are right now. And there are multiple of them. Which means this could get a little tricky here. Ideally, would drop a Yurden. That is technically the kind we're supposed to use against you. One down, two down. Thought there were maybe three. Maybe not. Maybe we already took one of those three out. Also, the places where your loot appeared on the surface. Look on the mini-map there on the top right. You'll see they have the red circles with the black X's over them. That's the loot from those wraiths that we just fought. But they have the red triangles above them pointing upward. That means that they are elevation-wise above where we currently are. So yeah, we killed them down here, but their loot actually showed up on the surface. So, okay. Interesting. This is technically the loot we're looking for, though. Raider, Lift of Ard, and Lunar Shards. I think that's quite rare. Ooh, see, we were just talking about how we might have wanted to wait to see if we could pick up upgrades some of our gear. That could potentially be an upgraded chestplate. May not necessarily be light armor. It looks like it might not have been, but let's see what we have. Medium armor. And it's actually, well, the armor's worse. It's level 16 versus 17 on our current armor. But it does have some different things that are interesting. Vitality, which is not bad, and 3% chance to return damage. That means basically reflect it back at our opponent. That's nifty. And the resistances, of course, are higher, and that is perhaps partially because this is medium armor compared to light armor that we're currently wearing. So that's nifty. As for whether we'd actually want to use it, if it were light armor, I probably would. For a slightly higher level, I probably would. So here is the loot from one of the wraiths that we fought. Here's more. And decent stuff at that they dropped. Less so on that one. Okay. Can we go down this spot too? Is this another? It seems like maybe we can. More rates? Question mark? Anything at all? No guarded treasure here? Even if we ignite that? Yeah? Apparently not. It did give us, again, some kind of name at the bottom suggesting that this is an official location of some sort. Did we get a fast travel location at the place that we just freed? No, we did not at that abandoned site there. Sawmill. It's a little bit unfortunate. This spot is, I suppose, close enough to this place here that I'm assuming we will get a fast travel spot in this location. That's probably not terrible. Do we want to go these buildings first or this building first? Let's lead off by heading to the notice board in case that does tell us about specific people that we might want to speak to. Otherwise, we might speak to people before we know what they're going to speak to us about. Imagine that. Not knowing what you're going to talk about with someone before you talk to them. It's madness.
You'll not be the first woman to share.
Okay, so there is another tradesperson here. And there is our fast travel location, so that's good. Let's start with the notice board, though, like I was saying. See what we get here. Go somewhere else. The couple in the barn last night. Ride somewhere else. I've had enough of the noise. Next time, I'll chase you out with a whip. Okay. About Hjordis. Many a young man has asked me to give them my Hjordis as wife. To all of them, I say this same thing. Hjordis will take the one she herself chooses, and I will not go against her wishes. Go talk to her, if you like, and leave me in peace. That's good to see. Skald seeks apprentice. Preferably someone who uses blazing hot water. Will teach a boy with a keen ear and strong lungs the art of blowing bagpipes. Have you learned? Need a man. Sure? Looking to take in a handsome, unmarried man to keep me warm at night. Must be fair-haired, well-proportioned, thick beard, fresh breath, and of considerable lustiness. Jastrid, I was wondering if this was going to be the same person we were hearing the other person say that, oh, I'm going to let my daughter make all the decisions in terms of who she would like to be with. Stop asking me. And then 1 or 2 notices later, she's like, hey, looking for someone. Let me know. Leaving the village. Had to break my oath. I'm leaving the village and the Isles. Take what you want from my house. Divide my land and sheep between yourselves. Be well. Lofter, son of Porter. Okay. Contract. Okay. Missing miners. This is more the type of thing we're looking for. It will not come as news to most, but let me repeat for the ignorant. A few of our lads went looking for ore in the mountains and never returned. They must have run into trouble, and since those brave warriors couldn't handle it themselves, it must have been serious trouble indeed. That's why I'm looking for a brave man to go up and suss out what's become of them. Whoever does so will get gold to match his glory. Okay, and that's the village elder. And then the other thing is we are expecting to, I would think, get a whole bunch more of undiscovered locations. Let's see what the level that contract is. That should be in with your contracts. There's missing miners here. Okay, so 27. That is on the high side, definitely. Although we're getting closer to it. It might be within the realm of possibility to do now, but we probably wait a little bit longer to do it first. And then let's check our map to see if we gained more question marks in this area here. We did gain a few, mostly to the northeast. I think we might have had some of these up here, but I'm not sure we had these ones here, especially not the one right next to that spot there. Definitely didn't have these, I don't. Maybe we had this one. We gained a few, though not that many. So I don't think it was a game changer to pick this up. In terms of, does it tell us anything new we'd like to make a point of doing before we head over to the main quest, or anything else, like entirely new locations? I'm thinking we probably do still, I mean, we haven't spoken to basically anyone in town yet, so we'll definitely want to do that. And that may or may not, I'm assuming that basically includes whatever happens in these buildings over here. And then we'll probably do the question marks that are right nearby, like these. And then from there, maybe we'll go to the main quest. We'll see where that leaves us. We'll see what these turn out to be. For one step at a time.
They're in for a surprise.
For now, it is time to
I'm
chat.
waiting for glory and riches.
And there is another trade person here. We did just
Continent.
spend a lot of monies
Very well be your lucky
at the
day.
previous person that we spoke
Spending
to.
hard-earned coin, that's an art in itself.
Oh, we can play you at Gwent, though. Let's see what you have to offer in case you have Gwent cards. Usually it's just the Tavern Keepers, but let's
Let
make
me
sure.
have a look.
See what you have. Again, we could get the fast travel locations. Now, I assume that we would still get these fast travel locations if we were to just walk to that location. And the reason why I say that is because we were talking earlier about how it seemed like we went to one, maybe even two spots where we were thinking maybe we'd get a fast travel location, but they didn't end up popping up. And so, are those places where you actually can only get the fast travel locations if you buy these maps? I didn't think so. I still don't necessarily think that's the case, but it would be possible that that happens. You're actually selling old goat hide. I don't think we've seen that before. Or at least it's far less common. As is this Mandrake Cordial. We might actually need that for some crafting things of some variety, but I don't think it's a huge priority. And I don't think we have much that we're looking to sell to you, really, because, like I said, we did much of our selling recently. Oh, and also I see that we still have the upgraded blinders that we've not yet put on. I mean, we can dump our furs there. The pine cone we picked up. I don't know. We might want to keep that one. Seems very valuable to me. Yeah, this is just the contract for the missing miners. Okay. Yeah. I'm thinking maybe we dump this stuff too. The junks. But that should be about it, I think. Okay. Let's leave it at that. And then let's play you at Gwent. Usual
Hard to argue with
5.
that. Want a bit more to spend, though. So how about a game of Gwent?
It's not gonna make a huge difference. Mostly to see if we can win a new card off of you. So I think we'll stick with Northern Realms here, and we'll stick with our usual deck. Okay, they go first. Decoy. This is a range row nerf. This could be a card that we look to swap out. We'll have to take a look. Commander's Horn. We also, surprisingly, we don't get a lot of use out of Commander's Horn. We might even want to remove one from our deck because we have, of course, have a Commander's Horn in the Siege row from our leader ability. And most of our cards are either heroes or siege cards. There aren't many of the Vesemirs or cards in the range row that we might want to double with Commander's Horn. And, like, for example, if Vesemir is our only card that is not a hero, that is not in the range, that is not in the siege row, and that is the case, you're the only non-siege, non-hero, then that means Commander's Horn, we need to play it in melee row, we need to double Vesemir, and so it's only worth 6 strength in total, which is okay, but certainly could be better. We have enough siege units to make Siege Expert worthwhile. We have 2, or well, you can't double yourself, so don't count you, but 1, oh. We are extremely light on the siege units. That's a problem. That's a big problem. That actually means that you are weak right now. We would definitely want to try to swap you out for a siege card, I would think. Fantastic. Step number 2. We got Death Mold. One of our only range cards. Okay, so lots of heroes. We do have that. That's working in our favor, yes. But outside of that, this is pretty concerning. This is another card that the reason why I didn't swap this out was I was hoping that we would manage to swap into a different siege unit, and I mean, we do have the chance of say, doing something like when we win a round, drawing an additional card, and given how we don't have many siege cards in our hand right now, chances of us drawing one is rather high because most of the cards remaining in our deck are siege cards. But we're gonna have to play this one a little bit differently than we usually do. This one, I think we're gonna have to rely very heavily on our heroes, less so on our leader ability, which is usually the thing that carries us. So, how do we play this one out? How do we start this one off? Usually we will save our siege and leader ability for later rounds, so that way we use that as our big final move. And that's sort of that usually is the round in which we score the most points. We might actually want to lead off with that this time around, though. Well, we still have the chance of potentially drawing into more siege cards, in which case we want to save our leader ability for that. So let's go with Vesemir here. Long way of saying Vesemir. He is scorchable, so this is potentially something that could backfire on us. Okay. One of the reasons why I wanted to play Vesemir was because that means we won't have any cards in the range row, which means I could say use the range nerf, whereas if we had gone with Death Mold, then we would have nerfed ourselves. So I do like that. We are still the highest unit out there, even before we do the range nerf, so Vesemir is still the target of a Scorch. Let's throw this one out. Actually, let's just double check what your leader ability is, because you are also Northern Realms. You hear any weather effects? Okay. So, well, I mean, you're going to use that at some point. Regardless of whether we play this card in this round 1, round 2, round 3, presumably you're going to immediately follow it up with your leader ability. So, mostly just a matter of when do we opt to go that route. So, sure, we'll do it here, but I think it is almost guaranteed that they will immediately remove it. That they do. Okay, so we've basically just spent a turn to throw away some cards on our side and leader ability on the opponent's side. We do have actually two of our better heroes here, two of our best heroes, Geralt and Ciri, because they're 15 rather than the usual 10 strength, so that's not bad. We did luck out a bit in that regard. Though we don't really need them right now. Just playing one hero would leapfrog us into the lead. Let's split it a little bit between melee and range row here. See how you respond to this. Oh. Excuse me. This was supposed to be an extremely rare card that we were only able to get through a side quest in which we fought people. And you are just walking up here like you own the place, throwing your John the Tallest cards around. There's a guy with a knife to his back. We had to rescue him by playing a game of Gwent in order to get this card, and then you just use it. Like you have a copy as well. What gives? Okay, so this is dangerous, though. This is dangerous because, unlike usually, where we would have a bunch of siege cards to fall back on and double our leader ability, and have what could be a very efficient rounds to fall back on, we don't really have that this time. So if we invest aggressively in round 1, that very much means that we don't have a lot remaining in round 2 and or 3. So I don't want us, we are technically still in the lead now. What I don't want to happen is for us to invest a whole bunch and in round 1 and then have little to nothing remaining round 2 or 3. But I think since we are technically still holding on to a lead here, let's pass now, force our opponent to make the decision of either letting us win here by a tiny bit or using an extra card in order to win this round here. If they do that, then they are also Northern Realms. They will go down to 5 cards, but then immediately after winning the round, draw another, and we'll be tied at 6 apiece. So could mean that they could outplay us in round 2 and just go super aggressive on that. I would argue that is technically what they should do. Ooh, what is this? Played 1 card, and then used a decoy to remove another in order to min-max the amount of strength they had out there, which is an interesting use of the decoy there. technically speaking, I think probably would have been more efficient to wait to see if, we had any nice cards, like a spy they would have wanted to have stolen. Of course, we don't have a spy. They don't really know that, but then again, they're that CPU, so what do they, don't they know? Who knows? Okay. Anyways, that's all on the side. They played a catapult. It is strong. It has 8 strength. It does have type on, so it will get doubled if they play another one. I thought they played one in the round 1. I should have taken closer note of that. Because if we did manage to split the catapults between different rounds, that is good, for sure. Problem here is, like I was saying, we don't have a lot of ways to invest just a little bit in this round. I think we want to play something that is lower than your 8. Let's not lead off with catapult. That way, if you have a Scorch, you won't want to use it. So you do immediately pass, or basically immediately pass. So, we obviously need to win this round, otherwise we lose. The question is how to do that most efficiently. We could do something very similar to what we saw them do, and use Decoy to bring back Death Mold, and then play like either Geralt or Ciri, and have 15 strength out there. Otherwise, what we do is we just play one of them right now and win by a bunch. And I think probably does make sense to play one of those big heroes now, and then yes, use the decoy this turn or this round to get back Death Mold, because at this rate, we don't know if our opponent is going to have any spies to steal with the decoy. We don't have a medic with which to take advantage of playing it twice with the decoy and getting the ability to play units from our graveyard twice. Basically, we don't have any special use for our decoy right now other than this right here. So I think let's hedge our bets a little bit and make sure that we at least min-max the amount of strength that we're using in this round a little bit. We will draw into a card and we will get another siege card, so that's good. We will, of course, double those this round. And we lead off. So I think we definitely want to lead off with either Geralt, because he's a hero, so we can't get Scorched, or our Siege Expert, because it's weak, and even if our opponent can Scorch it, they may not want to, and even if they do, then it's not a huge loss. Let's lead off with Geralt, though, because he's just flat-out immune. And you have a Trebuchet. The thing is, you may also have fairly high strength siege units, but we have our hero ability to double the siege row, whereas you do not. You've already used your hero ability. So let's see. Now you are safe to play without getting scorched. So I think we might actually want to go Death Mold first. That way it's a tie for the Scorch. We remove both Death Mold and your card there. If you are going to double the siege row, then of course that means that you functionally have the same thing as our leader ability there. So, okay, fine. You've made my points null and void to a certain extent, but that does mean that one of your remaining cards was that card there. Whereas ours is coming from our leader ability. So it is looking strong on their side, but we of course will be soon doing the same thing. And we have an 8 strength siege unit, whereas you only have 2 6 strength siege units. Largely going to come down to what are our opponent's remaining cards. But fortunately, by using the Commander's Horn now, it means that we can safely play you, bump you up to a 7, you're still not the highest unit out there, so Scorcher would still remove one of your cards. Okay, this is not really a problem. He's pretty weak. And then this card is also safe to play because also would not get Scorched. Last is Dandelion. Okay, so that will double Vest. That brings you up to 36, but that still is not enough. So we have won it. And then we of course still have our leader ability here. So we can BM. And it made me nervous, because that was definitely not one of our strongest starting hands that we've ever had, but we did still manage to pull it off.
Tell me, lads, were you sailing this?
Let's see, so we get some crowns, yes.
It's about what they're to sell.
And we get,
Said they've not got a
I don't recognize that name. It looks like that might have been either a neutral card or maybe Nilfgaard, because it seemed like it was black.
Not expecting anyone
Let's
to
try, it was like a Seer something, Van Ard. Sounded like maybe a Nilfgaardian name. I'm not seeing it in Northern Realms, I don't think. So my guess is that is Nilfgaard. Let's see, what was it? It was... But you. Oh! 6 strength. Which is... It's good. It's not amazing. But considering how we went through a whole song and dance to get Frangilla Vigo, another one of those super rare cards that was ultimately just a 6 strength unit. And this one we just happened to get from playing a random dude in Skellige. A lot more straightforward. Sure.